Tonight's tale comes from Haunted Heartland by Beth Scott and Michael Norman. Resurrection Mary. The most beautiful and evasive ghost in Chicago is a captivating, blue-eyed, flaxen-haired girl in her late teens. On those occasions when she chooses to be seen, she wears the long, off-white ball gown and dancing shoes in which she died in 1934, and she loves to dance at the Willowbrook Ballroom. Her name is Mary, or more precisely Resurrection Mary, after the cemetery in which she is restlessly entombed, Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois. No one knows her real name, or at least it's never been revealed. Old cemetery records do indicate that a Polish girl of about Mary's age and description is buried there. Resurrection Mary died in an automobile accident in 1934 on her way home from a night of dancing at the old O. Henry Ballroom, now renamed Willowbrook. Mary first made her appearance known in 1939, 5 years after her death, when motorists complained that a mysterious girl in a formal gown tried to jump onto their automobiles. In some cases, she hitched rides to the O. Henry Ballroom, and on those occasions, no one suspected that Mary was anything but mortal. She would dance all night with some of the single men who frequented the night spot, but she was always quiet and vague when asked about where she lived. Aloof was the word most used by her dancing partners, and later, these same partners would say that her skin was icy cold. After the last dance, Mary would ask for rides, and she would direct the impromptu beaux to head north on Archer Avenue. She usually disappeared from the vehicle as it passed Resurrection Cemetery. Most of the time, she didn't even bother with the formality of opening the door. Other times, Mary asked the driver to stop just short of the cemetery, got out of the car, and vanished as she ran through locked cemetery gates. And that's when her escort knew he had been with Resurrection Mary. The young girl was also seen in the cemetery. On one occasion, a man was passing the graveyard late at night when he happened to glance toward the locked gates. A young woman peered back at him through these iron bars. He thought that she must have been locked in while the cemetery had been closed, so he left to phone the police. By the time officials arrived, the girl was gone. A curious sight, however, was revealed in the policeman's spotlight when it shone on the gate. 2 bars had been spread apart. Directly at the curve of each bar, the outlines of 2 feminine handprints were embedded in the metal. The misshapen bars were quickly replaced. Resurrection Mary has been especially active since Resurrection Cemetery was renovated. One day, a cab driver was returning to the tollway after dropping off a fare. It was minutes past midnight on a snow-swept January night. The cabbie was driving up Archer Avenue when he saw a coatless girl standing near the entrance of the Old Willow shopping mall. The man thought the girl had encountered car trouble, so he stopped to help. She climbed in the front seat, a strikingly beautiful girl dressed in a white gown with black patent leather dancing shoes fashioned with a thin strap over her delicate arch. The mysterious passenger told the driver that she had to get home and gestured northward. The cab driver later recalled that the young woman was vague, giving unclear answers as he asked her questions. He thought perhaps she had one too many drinks. The only thing she said when he clearly remembered was, "The snow came early this year." After the pair had traveled several miles up Archer Avenue, the girl shouted, "Here!" The cabbie pulled toward the curb and looked out his window at the area to which the girl had pointed. A small shack was all he saw. But when he looked back toward the girl, she was gone, vanished. The car door had never even opened. That shack was located directly across the street from Resurrection Cemetery.